So, we want to talk about degenerative myelopathy, huh? Well, I'm happy to cover the topic as long as you don't care about Biscotti rocking us into it. So hit it, buddy! As always, let's start by defining some stuff. Now, the term myelopathy means a condition to or of the spinal cord, and the term degenerative means something is gradually breaking down. Gradually breaking down like my mental and emotional stability as this world keeps getting crazier. That would mean that the very basic definition of the term degenerative myelopathy is a progressive spinal condition that starts with very basic neurological abnormalities and progresses to having very severe neurological deficits. Good evening, sir. Might I do the honors of taking your order today, and may I recommend the fish of the day? It's fresh caught. Severe. I said severe, not server. So is that one fish or two? And before we move on to the next phase of this journey, what I want you to understand is that the spine is broken down into different sections. Now, each section of the spine controls different neurological functions depending on where the segment of that spine is located. And what I mean by that is the very last part of the spine controls neurological function to the back half of the body, like the ability to move the back legs, to urinate, and to defecate. And the very front section of the spine controls the ability to move the front legs and to breathe, which is kind of important. And when we say that degenerative myelopathy is a progressive condition, what we mean is that it starts at the end of the spinal cord, shutting down neurological function to the back half of the body. And as it slowly creeps its way up towards the front of the spinal cord, it shuts down more and more neurological function until eventually it starts to paralyze the diaphragm, which is what controls breathing. And that means that the clinical signs of degenerative myelopathy can actually be broken down into 4 different phases depending on where the dog is in the actual progression of this disease. At the end of the day, degenerative myelopathy is typically considered a genetic disease, and many dogs that have this condition have a very specific gene mutation. Sadly, the only way to actually diagnose this condition is by looking at sections of the spinal cord under a microscope after the dog has passed away. So we typically diagnose this by ruling out every other possible cause of the dog's neurological signs. And even more saddening is that we don't actually have a treatment for this condition other than supportive care for the pet until they either lose the ability to breathe or their quality of life gets so bad that the owners elect humane euthanasia.